Yo, what is going on, Draft League fans? My name is IronBoffin, coach of your Rochester Rhydons, and for the first time ever, we're in an almost any ability league playing on the actual game Scarlet and Violet. I'm super excited. We are in SPL. I think it's like season 4 or something like that. I'm super excited to have been invited to this. It's gonna be super fun, and for the first time ever, I'm in 2 draft leagues. That's pretty crazy. But I'm here today to bring you my draft analysis for the almost any ability league. And this is crazy. I've never played almost any ability on Showdown or anything like that, so I'm very new to it. I hung out on the Smoke On page a lot trying to figure out what's supposed to do what, but I'm gonna break down my picks for you, and I'm pretty happy with the team overall. So if you guys saw, there's a draft stream on Joey's channel, so if you already saw that, that's great. But I'm gonna tell you all my picks and why I picked them. So first up, I went with Zapdos. First pick, I think I am the 6th pick overall in an 8-person league, so I'm pretty close to the wheel toward the bottom. Latios was right there. Joey got it right before me. I really wanted Latios, but I got Zapdos. Zapdos is pretty sick. So on almost any ability, I picked Primordial Sea and No Guard. What does that let me do? No Guard lets me spam Zap Cannon and Hurricane, and Primordial Sea lets me spam Thunder and Hurricane. So if I want to throw off some paralysis, I can spam Zap Cannon with No Guard, or if I want to be able to control weather, because there's going to be a lot of desolate sand, or desolate land. There's going to be a lot of weather, there's going to be a lot of desolate land and stuff. So if I want to be able to overwrite weather, we have Zapdos. And I figured Zapdos was a good first pick because it is obviously very bulky. It hits really hard. Electric Flying is a great typing on a Pokemon. So I figured that was a strong, like, neutral pick to start. And then you'll see my second pick here. I was really weighing between the two of them, who I wanted to pick first. And very luckily, my backup pick made it back to me, and I got Garchomp. So my I think this is round 11, or my pick 11th overall pick, round 2 for me, and I got Garchomp. I was weighing really hard between whether I wanted Zapdos or if I wanted Garchomp, and we got Garchomp. So Garchomp's obviously broken regularly. It's actually insane. And now we've gone and given it the Sword of Ruin ability, which is Chen-Pao's ability, lowering the defense of Pokemon on the field. And Garchomp is going to go crazy because if I stick, it's 102 speed, so not the fastest thing in the world. So if I can get away with a Scarf, obviously I'll wear a Scarf and have Sword of Ruin active, or if I can get away with a Banded Sword of Ruin is going to crush things. You'll see we've played week 1 already, spoilers. And so for week 2, I've actually changed Moxie to Beast Boost. So there were a couple rules of like what abilities we couldn't run. For example, you couldn't run Beast Boost and have Moxie or Soul Heart. My team didn't have Soul Heart, so I was like, all right, let me just make Garchomp Moxie that way in case I can try to make it like a speed boosting one if like I want to do something really weird. But yeah, so we got Garchomp. So that I'm so happy getting Garchomp and Zapdos. I think that's really sick. The only problem is I'm weak to ice. That's a bit of a problem. So with my third pick here, I wanted to make sure I wasn't weak to ice, but we weren't. He's not weak to ice, but he doesn't resist ice either. But we have Swampert. Now, from what I gather in almost any ability, Swampert is a staple, rocking the Regenerator ability, usually paired with an Assault Vest. This thing's job is to come in, get out. Come in, get out. Like, it's so hard to switch into this format. Like, all these Pokemon are super, super, super strong. So Swampert apparently is somewhat reliable to get in and get out. So that's the goal. Get in, switch in, take a hit, flip, turn Regenerator out. So hopefully Swampert does a good job there, and I'm always happy to have Swampert. We also are packing the Drizzle ability in case I want to, control weather, and you'll see I kind of bring some weather control abilities like Swift Swim and stuff. So that kind of opens up what abilities and stuff I can bring. Our next pick 27 for me, 4th round, I went with Caballion. I said, okay, I need a Pokemon, 1, that resists grass because of Swampert, 2, that resists ice because of Zapdos and Garchomp, and 3 is fast. So we got base 108 speed Caballion. I grabbed this thing for a couple reasons. Surge Surfer and Magic Guard are my abilities of choice. Magic Guard because I can run Life Orb Steel Beam and just hit like a freight train. Like, yeah, he's only base 90 special attack, but Life Orb Steel Beam is going to hit so hard. So Caballion's going to be super sick. And we're packing Surge Surfer because in this league, everybody has like a Hydron Engine Pokemon. So I can bring Caballion. Even if I don't bring my own Hydron Engine Pokemon, spoilers, I have a Hydron Engine Pokemon. Even if I don't bring my own, I'll probably be able to bring Caballion and still use Hydron Engine if I need to be faster than things. So that'll be pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with Caballion. Like I said, I think I was very, very happy with my first 4 picks. I think that was a very balanced first 4. And I really like that core of the team. But now we're going into pick 38. We got Ente. My first ever time having Ente in a draft league. And it's almost any ability. This thing is going to be so broken. Pixelate because of extreme speed. We can be choice banded, pixelate boosted extreme speed. That's going to kill a lot of Pokemon. There's obviously a lot of really big, scary dragon types. There's no Terra types in this format. So no terastallizing. So if you're weak to Fairy, you're weak to Ente. Or sorry, yeah, there we go. I was right. And then we brought Desolate Land in case, you know, if I want to throw off some Desolate Land boosted choice band Sacred Fires. Who's switching into that? Sacred Fire looks crazy on this Pokemon with Desolate Land. The base 100 speed still, 115 attack. This thing is, I mean, Ente is a tried and true Pokemon in Draft League, so I'm super happy to have Ente. I've never had Ente before. Pumped to use it here, especially with Pixelate boosting, because normally I think normally it gets pressure. What's its other ability? I can't remember its other ability, but yeah, no, Pixelate and Desolate Land are crazy on this thing. Next up, I don't know how this thing was still on the board. It was the only Ogre Pond left, and I'm like, you know, I could use a little Ogre Pond. A little Ogre Pond would be fun to use here. So we have Ogre Pond Cornerstone, letting me hit that 110 speed. So I'm pretty happy about that. I haven't hit, my Alexa's going off. So we have 110 speed, which is really good because I think that's the fastest thing on my team at the moment because Garchomp's 102. Yeah, and Caballion was 108. So we're kind of hitting some weird speed tiers. I'm definitely not speed tiering very well. But we have Ogre Pond. There's Ogre Pond on the board, you take Ogre Pond. He's got Rocky Payload and Grassy Surge. If I think Ivy Cudgel is going to hit harder, I'll rock Rocky Payload. If I think like Power Whip or Horn Leech is more important, I have Grassy Surge. Grassy Surge also helps Caballion and Ente from ground type moves like Earthquake. So like, are people going to run not Earthquake trying to counter my Grassy Surge? I don't know. But Ogre Pond Cornerstone is a great Pokemon to have here. I'm pretty pumped up for it because like I could run a Trailblaze and basically be faster than everything and then hit things incredibly hard. 120 attack, no joke. Sick Pokemon. Happy to have it. Next up, we have Galarian Wheezing. We have Prankster and Fluffy. What am I doing with Galarian Wheezing? I needed a way to clear hazards, and so I went with Prankster, Defog, Wheezing. Wheezing can do a lot of things with Prankster. We can be Prankster T-Spikes. We can be Prankster Defog. We can be Prankster, I think it gets Will-O-Wisp. We can be Prankster Destiny Bond. We can do so much stuff with Wheezing. And it's a Fairy type, which I also needed on the team, so that's also helpful. And we have Fluffy in case we need to take some physical hits. So Fluffy looks pretty good on that. Obviously weak to fire, but we're not super worried about fire between having Entei, Swampert, and Garchomp. We're not super worried about a fire weakness there, so I'm pretty happy. You know, Wheezing, I think it's going to serve an important role. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come a lot of weeks, just because I think it's going to do a lot of work. Next up, this is the 59th pick overall. This is pretty deep into the rounds. We're in round 8. Now I'm low on points. I'm not going to lie. I didn't budget super well. It's like, get your best Pokemon, let them hit hard. We grabbed Cradon. Now, what are we doing with Cradon? We have Swift Swim and Adaptability. So, IronBoffin, this is an almost any ability league, and you gave it its ability back. I'm like, yes, I did. Because Adaptability, Cradon is really good. If you get to throw off a knockoff, it hurts. It hurts really bad. So, Cradon's really sweet. I have Swift Swim to pair it with Drizzle on Swampert in case I need Cradon to be fast. Because Cradon's normally, like, nerfed. It's, like, not a good Pokemon because it's so slow, right? So, if you can make it Swift Swim fast, a lot better. So I'm pretty pumped with that, and especially if I'm in the rain and I start throwing off like Crab Hammers or Liquidations, whatever it is. Freight train, absolute freight train of a Pokemon. Again, pretty excited to have Cradon here, like long-time favorite. I've always loved Cradon, so that'll be a fun one to have. Next up, we have Espeon. Gotta get an evolution on the team, and we're rocking Psychic Surge and Tinted Lens. Why? Because again, I'm hitting that 110 speed. I did not speed tier this draft very well because like I have like 3 Pokemon, like 102, 108, 110, 2 110s. So very weird speed tiering on my end. But we have the Psychic Surge and the Tinted Lens. Psychic Surge to kind of combat a lot of the Hydron Engines we're going to see. A lot of the Surges and stuff we're going to see. So that way I have a bond to kind of overwrite that. And Espeon with 130 special attack, 110 speed, Psychic Surge, boosted Psychics, or Expanding Force, whatever I go for. Espeon's scary, dude. Espeon is scary. And then we have the Tinted Lens in case like I'm not worried about the terrain war or I want to keep my own terrain. Tinted Lens because then you switch in and like unless it's a dark type, you're still getting hit really hard. So Espeon, I'm pretty excited for. Loki, I've never used Espeon in like draft league or competitive, so I think it's going to do a lot of work here. And then we have one more pick on the team. We have one more pick, and you're kind of just like, what do I need? What do I need? I need a Pokemon that can use Hydron Engine. Everybody and their mother is going to use a Pokemon with Hydron Engine. I need a Pokemon with Hydron Engine. So I grabbed base Rotom. And with Hydron Engine, his base 95 special attack starts to look very scary. You know, you can throw a little scarf on this thing. Hydron Engine, like, you know, you stab Thunderbolts with Hydron Engine are going to hurt. So this is a cool Pokemon. And then I gave it Levitate back just in case, you know, I want to make sure I don't get hit with some earthquakes and stuff. So I'm pretty pumped. I think this is the last pick on the team. It gave me a ghost type, which I don't think I didn't need a ghost type, but a ghost type is always kind of nice to have. And then obviously we already had an electric type in Zapdos, but I think because Zapdos obviously can't use Hydron Engine because it doesn't touch the ground because it's a flying type, I needed a Pokemon that could touch the ground and take advantage of Hydron Engine just because, like I said, everybody's going to use it. But yeah, that's my team for SPL Season 4. I'm super pumped up for it. Like I said, I've never done almost any ability before, so I'm a little nervous on how that's going to go, but we're going to try our best. We're having a great time in these draft leagues. And yeah, thank you guys for supporting all our draft leagues going on. I'm currently in another one if you guys want to support that as well. But yeah, I'm pumped up. Let's get some good games in, and hopefully we do well. Hopefully we do well. I believe our first game's against Joey. Let's see how that goes. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Have a good one. Goodbye.